All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus, and we got Luke freaking Braun in the house, locked on Vikings again. This is like a third timer. Greatly appreciate. Looking forward
Series
to
regular.
Series regular. He just anointed himself. So
Wow.
absolutely. Luke, we appreciate you hopping on, man. We're going to talk some Vikings, and you're going to lay it on us if we got a chance to beat the Niners.
Sure, man. Game starts 0-0.
True.
I got to ask you, you seem like a little bit of a night owl. What time do you generally go to bed?
Look,
It's very personal.
I didn't expect to come on here and be grilled, okay?
I'm just curious. I'm genuinely curious. Like, how late are you? What time's your bedtime?
I'm a 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. kind of guy, which is fairly common. I have ADHD. That's actually the way that ADHD people are comfortable a lot. It's sort of a lesser known part of it, but also I'm on the West Coast, so I'll be firing stuff off at like midnight, and it's like 2 a.m. in Minnesota. And people are like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. Wow. I just
Like,
thought
yeah,
you were
no,
a
I'm just
diehard.
chilling.
Apparently, to be a series regular, you need a strict bedtime. So we're going to have to talk about that after the show.
Well, never mind. No deal. No, I like it. I like the 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. thing. It works for me.
That works for you.
My grandpa's the same way. He's deep into his 80s, 2 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Wow. It's a Braun thing. I like it. Let's talk some Vikings. I got to ask you, you personally, after the Vikings just go give those Giants an absolute shellacking, did that move the needle for you at all? As far as if you think the Vikings are going to be better than they were, nothing, did it move the needle?
Sure. Let me put it this way: the it was just the Giants thing. There is some grain of salt for that, right? But you ask, okay, let's say you knew that this was a good team. Let's say it wasn't the Vikings. Let's say it was the Lions. Let's say it was the Chiefs, right? Let's say it's like teams that are anointed contenders, and then those teams play the Giants. What do you expect to happen? Well, a blowout with no drama at the end, right? That's what you would expect to happen. So that's what good teams do to bad teams. So they played like a good team. One game can only ever move the needle so much, though, so it doesn't even matter. It's the season is 17 of these long. You have to sustain it. If you get into a rough, you don't have time for any rough patches. So you just kind of have to take it week by week.
Nice. I like that. Luke, you do a lot of things well. One of the things you do well is analyzing film and giving your opinion, seeing things. Did anybody jump out at you either positively or negatively from just watching the film from Sunday's game?
Looking at, I'm trying to think through like all the stuff that I did for Patreon. Darrisaw, I think everybody's talking about Darrisaw's game against Kayvon Thibodeau. He just had that dude in absolute hell. Very interesting game because Darrisaw's progress hasn't quite been linear throughout his career. 2022 is the year I thought he should have made All-Pro. That year was incredible. It was absolutely insane. I couldn't be loud enough about it. And then last year, I don't want to use the word regress because that word is, everybody gets super like, they all suddenly like crumple up into a ball when they hear the word regress. But he did just a little. It wasn't quite as good as 2022. It was still a very good year, nothing to be concerned about. But something that would happen to him, he really likes to jump set, especially against wide nine techniques. So what did all those words mean? So a jump set is when you're a tackle and you've got an edge rusher that's lined up way out on the moon. Kayvon Thibodeau did it last week. Probably going to see a bunch of it from Nick Bosa this week. He loves to do it too. And they like to do it because it gives them a lot of space and a lot of steps to time to set up whatever they want to set up. And it generally it stresses out the tackle, especially if you're somebody who is fast like Thibodeau is. So what the tackle will do is his first two steps, super hard horizontal steps, really aggressive. Close down that space. Get right back into the phone booth with him and say, no, I'm getting my big old mitts on you and we're going to fight right here. You're not going to be able to set up any of this finesse crap on me. Darrisaw loves that move. Worked phenomenally in 2022. In 2023, people started to counter that by letting him jump set and then going to the inside. The more you close down space between you and the guy to your outside, the more space to your inside you create. So people started doing a really good job of beating that, and he would lose some inside, give up some pressures. Didn't happen every play. Didn't even happen every game, but it happened some. So both Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, no slouch of edge rushers, knew this and tried to win inside at key moments in the game. Because it's not something you can do every play. It's something you got to kind of pick your spot. And so at key moments in the game, they tried to say, we're going to try to get this win inside and get this pressure on this big third down or whatever. And Darrisaw did a great job of getting his hips and his feet flipped instantly. I mean, teleporting. A feat of athleticism for a man that large. And moving the guy inside. You might have seen the clip of Darrisaw throwing Thibodeau into the D tackle and knocking him down. Watch his feet and his hips on that one, and don't blink because you're going to miss when he moves them. So that is something that I think maybe he's worked really hard on, because, or just generally having a counter to when you jump set and then the guy tries to cut inside of you. That is like the counter to Christian Darrisaw, and he might have taken it away. So somehow Darrisaw might have got better.
Hell yeah. Let's go. God damn. All right. There's I gotta ask you the guy next to him. Blake Brandel. PFF sure thinks he's pretty much the best player ever to play based off of his score. Is he good? I mean, he had a good week one. I know we need to see more.
Had a good game.
What do you think?
Had a good game. Loved seeing him in doubles with Darrisaw, which happened a lot just because of the fronts the Giants used. That happened to be what they were going for. I think because they wanted to pair Ingram and Bradbury on the other side together and attack that. But the double between those two guys, those are two strong boys. Absolutely sledding guys. Fantastic stuff. He didn't get a lot of Dexter Lawrence, again, because they were using... I think the way the Giants approached it was, we don't know what 64 can do, but we do know that Dexter Lawrence kicked the crap out of 56 and 67 in the playoffs a couple years ago, so let's do that again. And he had that great game, right? So he didn't have... he had only the other guys on the Giants D-line, and can you name them? Because no, you can't.
No, absolutely not.
So I don't think he got the Giants' best. They didn't really attack him, but we take those. That's no shame in that. And you still got to do your thing, right? Yeah, I thought he had a pretty good game. But again, I mean, one game, right? We gotta see this sustain itself a little bit, and that's kind of the issue with PFF, especially single game grades. Their grades play out like a rate stat, and those rate stats need 100, 200 reps before they really are telling you what they're designed to be telling you. They're way too reactive to noise. Like if you have 60 reps and you get one penalty, like imagine a guy that gets a flag a game. You hate that guy. That guy is so frustrating. So you play one game, you make one mistake and you get a false start once. Because we're viewing it as a rate stat, it's sort of giving you the result it would give if you did that, extrapolated over the course of a game, and that's kind of how it's reading to us. So you have to be really careful.
I wish I could have named another Giant defensive line.
He's got a long name. I
really.
They had an undrafted rookie out there like a lot. 94.
Could have made you proud.
Like they had their Taki Taimani out there getting smoked.
Taki. All right. So is it fair to say with the additions the Vikings have on defense, Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones playing this time against the Niners, we're actually fielding a better team than we did a year ago when we beat them?
Well, but it's a different. We're missing different guys. No Addison, no Hawkinson. Well, probably no Addison, I should say. Maybe as of this recording, we don't know that for sure, but it kind of feels like no Addison. But last year, no Jefferson. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a little bit different. I'll be very curious to see where we end up defensively here. Obviously, Caleb Evans was starting last year. He's still on the roster, but he's the fifth guy now. That implies that you've gotten some better players, right? Or at least they think they have. That secondary was not tested much because of Daniel Jones's brain, I guess. Couldn't get downfield when the pressure came, and that pressure. Here's a big difference in the defense. Those pressure packages were not designed to get unblocked rushers. They were designed to get quality one-on-one opportunities. And it's way easier to get a good one-on-one than it is to get somebody fully unblocked. So they didn't have to commit as much to the blitz, and they didn't have to blitz as often. It was like 30%, which for Flores is meh. That's a lot, actually. It's still a pretty high blitz percentage, but it's not Flores high. So they approach that different. Again, that might just be a Daniel Jones thing. That might be, wow, this Giants O-line sucks. I think we can just kind of line up and beat them, and let's just get some one-on-ones. And maybe against a better line like the 49ers have, you play that a little different. But I mean, whether the unit is better or worse, I'm gonna see it to believe it, guy. We've been talking theory for 7 months. I'll wait 2 days and see.
That's fair. That's fair. I once again we got Luke Braun joining us. Unfortunately, he wakes up and the first thing he has to see is our faces. It's Friday though, so hopefully that makes it a little bit better. I wish we were better looking, but Niners, they're stacked. Everybody's seeing them. NFC North, they should be the team, or not North, NFC, they should be the team representing, or at least in the hunt. What part of the Niners team like concerns you the most going against the Vikings?
Well, what's best? I was thinking about when they don't have everybody healthy, sometimes they tend to fall apart. No, probably the run game. Yeah. I was thinking like their Super Bowl odds. I went to a Locked On NFL place. No, it probably the run game, I think. Like, I have enough respect for Brock Purdy. I'm not one of these people that thinks Brock Purdy is just like a fraud that keeps getting away with it. But he executes well and on time, and that's what you need to do in an offense. I mean, that's Tom Brady's the GOAT, and that's pretty much all he ever did. The run game is complex enough. They do a lot of interesting stuff to get doubles on the edges. And that's a great way to neutralize, when you have your Daniil Hunter or whatever, to locate their best player and neutralize that best player. They're really good at getting a double on the guy they want to double on. One of the interesting things that Flores does with his alignments is with overhang defenders. That's an extra guy off the edge. It's like Josh Metellus a lot of the time. When he comes up and he's like lined up, there's the edge outside the tackle and then another guy, right? How do you deal with that problem? 49ers are really good at dealing with that problem. Flores is really good at presenting that problem. That's going to be a very interesting chess match all day long.
Nice. Let's say the Vikings do it again, beat the 49ers at home. They keep doing what was it? Be the 8th game in a row, whatever it is.
92 was the last time.
92.
Good year.
And the Niners know it, and they're mad about it.
If they do win this game, are they contenders for the North?
Oh, sure. Yeah. My whole thing, I've been pretty down on the Vikings this year. It's a Sam Darnold year. This is the get Sam paid year. Vibes year. Okay, we're going to win 6 games. We're going to get Sam Darnold a good contract. We're going to all feel really, really warm and fuzzy going into J.J. McCarthy's first real year as 2025. But we ain't. This is not the year that you want to pin your hopes and dreams on. And that's okay. It's been okay with me, but I've been kind of, negative about it. Like, look, man, they got a patchwork secondary. What has Sam Darnold shown us? All that stuff. You go beat up the 49ers in week 2? Who are missing one of their big players in Christian McCaffrey, right? But Jordan Mason just popped off, so it's that's hardly comforting. You go beat that team? Okay, yeah. Now I believe now. Now I get it. And I always looked at this as, well, they're gonna play the Giants. The Giants kind of suck. They can beat the Giants. I'm still gonna take it with a grain of salt. You beat the Niners. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in. Now I'm feeling like we're a dark horse underdog, weird team that could maybe go get a little bit spicy in the division race for sure, or at least push for a wild card.
Hell, nice. Yes. I gotta ask, when you're watching a game, what's your demeanor? I picture you with a yellow notepad and just taking notes and just flipping the page and doing this and getting upset. Why are they doing that package? Why are they doing this? First time watching it, not watching it again. But how's that roll?
Yeah. Live in the game, I'm juggling a lot of plates for Locked On stuff. But the big one is, so I take copious notes. I have a spreadsheet where I go, here's the play, here's my notes, and I write down anything I observe as I can, between the plays. So I'm basically just on the keyboard, as much stuff as I can figure out until you get to about the third quarter, if it's close. And then my notes stop being overhang defender versus a blah, blah, blah formation. And then eventually my notes just turn into Jefferson. And I go full fan brain at the end. But I go back all week and I refer to those because they help me kind of organize my thoughts. And I go, okay, wait, what was the, what was that play where I thought that it maybe could have been an offsides penalty? And I can go look and it was the second down around here in the third quarter. And it helps me go find that and streamline my process of making everything I make all week.
All right, Luke Braun, Locked On Vikings. Couple more for you. Links down in the description. One of the best in the biz, no doubt. What do the Vikings have to do this Sunday to get a win? Like, what's
Keep
the
the
one
penalties
thing
out.
that just no penalties?
Yeah, I mean turnovers and penalties, right? That's the big thing that you cannot have. You can't have 2 turnovers this time. Giants could not punish it. The 49ers can absolutely punish it. And I'm going to sound super old school here. I'm going to say turnovers, penalties, and run the ball. If you can get Aaron Jones keeping you ahead of the chains, you have to be successful at running the ball. And everybody freaks out when you say you got to run the ball as if I'm talking about it as a volume thing. Couldn't care less what the run pass ratio is. When you are handing the ball off, that's got to work. You cannot get those to land you in a 2nd and 10 situation where then suddenly Nick Bosa can pin his ears back and never worry about setting the edge. You have to be ahead of the chains, use that play action, and be able to move the ball on these guys. We got good corners and only one Justin Jefferson in this game right now. The 49ers are good at every level, and you have to put yourself in manageable situations, or those guys are just going to start doing their superstar thing.
All right, Luke, thanks again for being here with us. All this being said, how do you see this one shaking out on Sunday?
Who knows, man? What are I'll go with the Vegas implied game, which is that the 49ers would win like 27-21.
27.
That's essentially what the Vegas odds say is going to happen. So I'll just go with Vegas.
All right.
27-21. Is there any last one? Is there any moral victories if we keep it close?
Sure. Yeah.
So positive.
See, here's my moral victory thing. Okay, you can't be like no moral victories if you're somebody who always talks about moral defeats. if you've ever like had the Vikings like beat a bad team but not by enough and been like, man, but they should have killed those guys. That's a moral defeat. It is exactly logically the same as a moral victory. You just don't like it because you don't like being positive. Dare yourself to be happy.
I love it. That is a great way to end this bad boy, Luke Braun.
Motivational.
Hell yes. Appreciate it, man. Links down in the description. Thanks again for hopping on, and we love your work. We love what you do.
Yeah, thanks. Luke.
Love coming on here, man.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it.